Well, it's good to know that your kids have taste, Todd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
You know what I
course they
mean?
do.
They didn't watch the Sonic movie 20 times, did they? Do they like Sonic?
Uh,
Do they care about Sonic?
yeah, Liam did. Logan was like too little at that point. We'll probably revisit it. Liam
Wait,
like
he
he
likes
only
the
watched this.
movie?
Yeah, Liam likes him,
Does he play
but
Sonic
like
games?
no, he thinks they're too hard. Which like once you get past the first level, I kind of get that. But for
I
a kid,
mean, I don't really think Sonic games are that good. I don't really care. I'll say that. I'll stand by that.
yeah, I
So
mean
like
it's
for a
whatever.
kid, like it's not like Liam plays a lot of games that are like I think thoughtfully constructed level design,
Yeah,
which like
I because I got
he
him
can play
Sonic
around on
Mania and
that.
he didn't play much of it. He didn't play much of Sonic Mania, which I think Sonic Mania is a great game. But like I get why like if you get to the level where like you can fall in the water, like it's just like most people would be like, I'm done, especially kids. I'm like, I can't do this.
I mean, I
How
walked
do we
away
get out
from
of?
Sonic Mania for years after I got to the desert, I think. Because I like halfway through that stage died and I had to restart like from the beginning of that set of stages. I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
A skill-based game.
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
skill
Yep.
based game. Yeah.
Skill issue.
Who else here has beat Sonic Mania? Just curious.
I don't think I did.
I
I
don't
purchased it. I
remember.
definitely own
How
it.
far
I don't
got
know
into
if
it.
buying it constitutes as beating it, Mike. I think we have different terms of what like finishing a game might. So that means you beat Jedi. Then you've beaten
Yeah,
Jedi
that means I
Fallen Order.
beat Fallen Order. It means I beat a lot of games.
Damn.
You beat Cyberpunk.
Beat Cyberpunk.
Well, he bought Stadia. I don't know if that counts. He didn't
Yeah,
buy.
I did get refunded for that game, so
Yeah, so
maybe I
then
did
Oh,
you
you
beat
did.
did.
them.
You
Yeah.
actually the game beat you, Mike.
Win some, you lose some.
So I went and saw Guardians. And we'll keep it
Mhm.
spoiler free, obviously. I've spoken to both of you, Mike and Dom, separately about this, so we'll quickly talk about it now. Where do you both stand on this film currently?
I liked it.
Did you both like it?
I feel like Mike's
I
reaction
liked
just now
it.
didn't. Mike's reaction seems way more positive than 90% of the times that I ask him like what he thought of like about just by saying
Yeah,
I like it. I'm like, oh, I think he kind of liked it.
yeah, that's fair. I'm glad someone's finally picked up on my scale.
Yeah, right.
Where has it like kind of fallen for you, like MCU overall? Is it like a higher rated movie for you personally, or if it's
Uh,
easier to do post Endgame, we can do that too. But
yeah, I mean, definitely post Endgame, it's probably one of my favorite films. If it was like a toss up between that and No Way Home, probably. Um, Overall,
Shang-Chi, maybe.
Shang-Chi maybe too. Uh, Overall, it's probably maybe uh
we can keep it in the movies too, because the TV shows would make it
yeah.
a lot more
So
complicated.
bottom top half, which I guess would be in the middle somewhere, technically. Just
The middle third.
yeah, the middle third. I think that's fair.
Of post Endgame or
No,
overall?
of overall.
Okay, okay.
Overall, I think it's a pretty good movie. I'm thinking about it now. Part of the problem is that number one, it's recency bias. Number two, a lot of these films I might see two or three times once they come out, but then never revisit it. So I know I liked them when they came out, but I can only remember the things I either really liked about the movie or things I really disliked about a movie.
Wait, have you already seen Guardians more than once?
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's what I'm saying. Trying to compare it to previous films. So like even if I want to compare it to the past two Guardian movies, each of those films I might have seen once, maybe twice,
I feel like I've
back when they
watched
came out.
Guardians 1 probably quite a few times. I feel like I've probably watched that. Like that Guardians 1 probably stays, like, I don't want to just off the cuff say top 5 overall. Like, it's definitely in my top 10. I just, like, I'd have to really think about what would be in my top 10 for me to say, like, yeah, it's my top 5.
Right.
I also like Guardians 2, and I liked this movie overall, but I don't know. It's too recent for me to, like, I need to sit on the movie a little bit longer. I kind of need to flush out my feelings of just going to see it and see where it kind of, if I'm still thinking about it in a few weeks, you know what I mean?
The last Marvel movie I saw was the fuck was it?
You must
No
have
Way
saw
Home.
Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, that's the last one I saw. Yeah.
I really like
handle.
that movie. I thought that movie was
I
good.
did too. I actually thought it was good. Yeah.
I also like even I was thinking about this after I watched Guardians 3. I was like, how do I feel about this, especially like post Endgame MCU stuff? Like, where are we at? And I'm still pretty hot on Ant-Man. I enjoyed Quantumania. I think Quantumania was like pretty entertaining. I liked that movie.
That's a pedestal that you'll find yourself.
Alone on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
I mean,
not a lot of people standing there with
I'm
you.
kind of fine with it though. I
It's,
like
fine.
I like Paul Rudd's Ant-Man.
It's on Disney Plus. You can continue to watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah. See, I have no
I
interest
have
in watching it.
I have enjoyed all 3 Ant-Man films.
It's worth trying once, Todd.
I think
Liam
it's
said he
good.
kind of wanted to watch it tomorrow, so I was like, all right. We'll
Listen,
throw
the
it on
stuff
then.
going on with Jonathan Majors aside, I also really liked
Yeah, it's a
Kang.
mess. It's a fucking mess.
So like I enjoyed the film. It was a good. I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, it's not like it's not a top 10 perfect like thing. I would probably end up, if I had to sit down and noodle around all the MCU films, like Guardians 3 would probably still eke it out. Like it would still be above it on that whatever that list is. But I liked Quantumania for what it was.
A bad movie.
Sure. I mean, I'm fine with liking. You can like bad things.
Sound
I'm
like
fine
me
with it
right
being a
now.
bad movie if that's what it is. Is it rated super low on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Is it?
sure.
Do they have just
like
a tab for MCU? Can I just
Low-
like look at
low
all the
for
MCU
Marvel, I
together?
think.
Yeah.
Let me see.
If you just search
Sort
MCU
by
on Rotten
tomato
Tomatoes, it might.
meter. We want to go by tomato or audience? What do we want to go by here?
I don't think it matters on
Okay.
I don't think it
Quantumania.
matters, yeah. You can say the movie was awesome even if you didn't see it
All right.
on fucking
Well,
audience.
currently as it stands, and this includes TV shows, Miss Marvel is the top rated critic thing. Then Black Panther, Agents of Shield, What If, Endgame, Iron Man
Tied with the
1,
Eternals.
Guardians Holiday Special, No Way Home, Ragnarok, Hawkeye, Loki, Homecoming, the Netflix Daredevil show, Guardians 1, Shang-Chi, WandaVision, Avengers 1, Werewolf by Night, Far From Home. Damn, Spider-Man fucking taking the top across the board here. Civil War, Winter Soldier. Wow. Oh, no, Winter Soldier and Civil War have the same score. I don't know why it's listed higher. It has a higher audience score, too. I mean, I personally love Civil War, but I know that, like, you know, probably the
I
three
think
of you are
Civil
like,
War's-
Winter Soldier's best MCU film.
Oh no, I think Civil War and Winter Soldier. It's like
Winter Soldier cinema.
I could say Civil
is.
War, and easily Civil War or Winter Soldier. I think go hand in hand for me. I don't know if I like one more than the other, but I love both of them. They're definitely my top Marvel movies.
There are so many things to
I know,
scroll
it's
here.
crazy.
I should have just looked up this movie. I already forgot what I'm looking for. Quantum. Oh my goodness.
The 47.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Eternals is
so
good.
it goes Thor: Love and Thunder. Then I scrolled way down, by the way. Thor: Love and Thunder has a lower score than The Incredible Hulk.
People
Yeah,
really
I
like
don't
It's the
know.
worst movie.
I
Which
didn't
is-
feel that strongly about it, but I know people.
Listen,
I couldn't
Thor:
finish
Love
it.
and
I
Thunder
couldn't finish
has
the
a lot
movie.
of issues, I think, too. But I also was entertained by that film. I enjoyed that movie. I have some
I'm
major
just
hangups
surprised-
with it, but I overall like. I think alone for the villain stuff in that film, it's fucking cool.
He was
Like a lot of great
underutilized,
like
though.
like
It was extremely
He was a really good villain, but he was on screen for 2 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah, it was like 10
but
minutes
like a
full.
lot of those shots though were like
Yeah,
some of the
it-
best scenes in the MCU period. I think like they were really
yeah,
fucking good
and,
scenes.
And there was a minute of them.
I'm not saying that the movie was good. I'm just saying
yeah.
I'm hotter on Thor: Love and Thunder than I think a lot of people are. Incredible Hulk though, I don't know about that.
I thought Incredible Hulk was good during the time when I saw it.
I
was
know
like,
I
really-
liked it, but I know
I
I'm
was
biased
really-
towards
Yeah.
it.
I was really mad when Edward Norton was like, when
Yeah,
we found
listen,
out Edward Norton
When I saw
did
that movie
role.
in 2008, I probably enjoyed it. I don't think that movie would hold up the same way that like Iron Man 1 holds up now. I don't know. I haven't rewatched it, but that would be my guess.
I was watching parts of the 2003 Eric Bana Hulk because it was on TV.
That's
the
a
other
great
day.
movie. I'm
Hulk
sorry.
dogs.
Like
That was
like,
that was fucking wild.
It was a choice.
it's honestly that movie is like the most comic book movie I think I've ever fucking
It's
seen.
very comic book.
It's
It was like he wanted to make his own version of the Incredible Hulk comics.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like I like the way they
Who
did,
was
like, the comic.
who was the bad guy? Who was the ball?
Nick Nolte.
No, but who was
Oh.
it? Like, who was the character?
It was his
remember.
father, but he was basically the absorbing man.
Okay.
But
He was a
yeah.
bubble. That's all I remember.
Okay.
I remember it was Nick Nolte, and he turned into a bubble.
Interesting.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
It's wild that Ang Lee did that movie too. It's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense that it was Ang Lee then in the movie.
Yeah. No, definitely.
All right, so we
He got his
got
powers from frogs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Experimenting on
things.
frogs. Yeah.
I don't
Frogs and
remember
like
any of that.
starfish and
Yeah.
so we'll go to the bottom 10 according to critic score. And then again, this also includes shows, and it also includes shows that I don't know if they're technically part of. I guess the multiverse makes everything canon if they want it to be, but I don't know
Yeah.
if some of these things are
if
actually
it's
like
including shows. I know you said Agents of Shield earlier on, so I'm wondering if things like Runaways or Cloak and Dagger on that
they
list.
are
already
on this
saw-
list.
I already
They-
saw
they-
Runaways on
They
here.
are on this. Have you all scrolled to the bottom of this? Because I'm gonna ask a
not looking at
question, so
anything.
don't scroll
Oh
to the
no,
bottom
I
if you
won't.
did.
I'll go back. I mean, I was looking at the
Ant-Man.
other. I know I was looking at the not tomato meter.
I
The
gotcha.
Audience score.
So the bottom 10 according to critic on Rotten Tomatoes. Again, this includes everything. Multiverse of Madness, which is a 74, which I
This is
think
critic
fine.
scores.
Critic scores, yeah, I think that's fine. It has a higher. That one has a higher audience score. A lot of the lower.
Which is weird because I see so many people say that's like the worst one. Like I see so much hate towards that.
Listen, I think that movie also has some issues, but I was really entertained
No,
by it.
Sam, you know what
I
the
liked,
issues are
like-
with people? People were mad that there wasn't enough multiverses in it. That's like their biggest
Well,
gripe with that movie.
They put it in the title.
Yeah, but I thought it was fine for what it was. I mean, I feel like if you're jumping around too much, it's going to be like No Way Home. It's just going to be like all fan servicey bullshit the whole time. So I was kind of glad they didn't.
My understanding was that this movie was supposed to really sort of like establish the multiverse as like a, for lack of a better way to describe this, a mechanic in the MCU for the greater audience. I'm assuming that's what the part of the purpose of this film was, right? Wasn't it also initially supposed to come out before Spider-Man?
Yes.
It's supposed to come out before Spider-Man. I think it was supposed to come out before WandaVision.
So like, if it came out before WandaVision, I think that would have made a lot of people even more fucking confused by WandaVision because they were like, "Where's multiverse at? Like, what's going on here?" But I think they would have probably had more fun with the marketing for Spider-Man if Spider-Man came out after. You know what I mean? Because people were already suspecting and expecting that stuff to happen, but I feel like they could have fucked around a little bit more maybe. But so you got that at 10. Bottom 10, you got Iron Man 2, which is a 71. Incredible Hulk, 67. Thor Dark World, 66. Marvel's The Punisher, 64. I thought people loved that one. It also has like a
it's got, like, a
78
cult following.
for fan, which is like,
I don't think
think
it ever
super.
reviewed well, but that's a Thomas Jane one, right?
John
No,
Bernthal.
the TV show.
John
the-
Bernthal.
Oh,
The
Bernthal,
Netflix
sorry.
show.
Oh, yeah. I think that's amazing.
Love and Thunder, 63. Ant-Man Quantumania, 47. Eternals, 47, which I also think that movie is better than people say it is. I don't think that
I do
movie's
too.
that good, though. But there are parts of that film I enjoy. I like the idea of the movie more than maybe the movie itself.
I just don't think it makes sense how they're going to fit anything from that.
I
in.
don't think
Like,
they're
I feel
going
like
to
they're
touch
not
too
going
much
to at
on
this
some of
point.
that
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like
They're probably going to take the
already removed-
the post-credits part of that, and that's about it.
it's gone.
I
No, it's gone. That's gone
Yeah.
now because he's not going to be in Blade anymore now. Fucking the Black Knight or whatever. They
I was
pulled him
talking
from-
about the other post-credit scene.
The one with Harry
Yeah,
Styles.
yeah.
Styles.
Yeah,
I
but
fit like that's going to be a larger thing.
I
no?
feel like Marvel doesn't know what the fuck
It
they're
would be
doing
an
right now.
it would be an Eternal sequel.
or it could be a Guardians or like other cosmic hero thing. No, like if like another Captain
I
Marvel
don't think-
movie, or
I don't think we're getting a Guardians movie for a while if we get another Guardians movie.
well, I mean, I don't want to talk about what can happen or can't happen after Guardians. I feel like that's maybe potentially spoilery. But I mean, I feel
have
like if
still-
they did something with that character, Star Fox, is that who it was?
Star
Correct.
Fox.
They would have to do like cosmic heroes around that.
I've still not had a single thing spoiled for me in Guardians.
Iron Fist,
I'm very
37.
surprised.
And what do you think the
Actually-
lowest rated thing is?
It's got to be
And again, this
Luke
includes
Cage,
everything.
Luke Cage season 2.
no, it's got to be
Ooh, Inhumans.
yeah, that's what I was
It
looking
is
for. I was gonna
Inhumans,
say
11%.
I was gonna say Black Bolt. I just couldn't remember the
The,
fucking
the
group.
name of
So.
the show. Yeah, I forgot it existed until like I
I
saw.
remember when they showed like they released that first episode of 2 in theaters, and I
Yeah.
remember I was like saw the trailer. I'm like, that looks fucking. It looks like a made for TV movie. Like it just looked really bad.
Wait, Inhumans wasn't it a TV show?
It
It's
was a
not
TV
movie.
show.
It
Yeah.
was a TV
Okay.
show, but they released like the first 2 episodes
Episodes
in
into
IMAX
theaters.
theaters.
Oh, weird. Anyways, I think overall I'm still like relatively. I enjoyed overall Guardians 3. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a good bookend. I think it does justice to those characters that we've seen in their trilogy plus other mashup team up movies. Curious to see what they do with any or all of those characters later, if they do.
I just feel like there's no cohesiveness with all the characters that they've given us over the last phase. Like I feel like nothing's. I don't think anything needs to be connected, but there's just like nothing that like seems like it is going to come together. You know. And I haven't seen a lot of the stuff, but like it just. I know it's.
I
like
haven't
a whole
seen
new
a lot of
world
the
building.
stuff, but you know what? I'm just
No,
gonna
I mean,
say
I know
nothing's
everything
connected.
that happens and everything. Like I've looked up a lot of spoilers and stuff, and for the minus Guardians. But like, did Guardians have after credit scenes that like were big on the other stuff? Like
I mean,
stuff coming
I
up.
think it does two things. I think it does two different things each scene. But
But it doesn't. I mean,
what do you want it to do? You want it to be Thanos walking out with a fucking Infinity Stone? Like, is that what you're looking for? We haven't gotten shit like that, like really at all. But I don't know.
I just I don't know. I don't really expect anything. Really,
I don't think you want
so.
anything from the MCU, Todd. We have gone
Yeah,
over
I'm
this.
just-
You do not
I
like
just-
the MCU.
I'm just bored with it at this point. It's boring.
Yeah, that's fine. You just got excited that Mike liked the movie, but no one is expecting you to go see him.
I mean, Guardians is probably the only Marvel movie I actually give a shit about. I mean, like that I want to see. I almost went and saw it in the theaters, but other than that, I don't care about anything else. Daredevil, I'll be cool to see that when that comes out. But that's just the fucking TV show.
if that comes out,
Yeah.
Why you think that won't come out?
I don't know.
This
Everything
writer's
keeps
strike,
getting-
man.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
true.
I mean
I
all
forgot
that
about
stuff aside, I wasn't thinking about
Yeah.
that stuff. I was just thinking about in general.
Well, everything keeps getting pushed and delayed and restructured, and
Yeah. So we'll see. I enjoyed it though. I thought it was good overall. There was some stuff I didn't really love about it, but I think overall it was a fun time.
we are getting Echo now.
Yeah, it's they're dropping the entire season in one day.
Okay.
Which makes me think that they have no confidence in that show either.
Well, there was a
that.
rumor that they were not even going to air it. So
Oh really? Oh god. Yeah.
Well, we'll
Yeah,
see.
like that's what I'm saying. Like they seem like the whole like everything that they're doing right now seems so disheveled. Like, and like I feel like actors probably are not going to want to be involved in the MCU like they were like 2 phases ago because like of the way that like everything's been played out and like a lot of like negative reception. And now like the whole thing with Jonathan Majors is a fucking huge issue to walk into if you're an actor because you're like that's going to screw everything up if like depending on what they do with that.
Multiverse stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
they-
that's true.
they gave
Yeah.
themselves the biggest MacGuffin. They can literally do whatever they want. Will people enjoy that? Who knows? But they can literally do whatever they want.
Todd won't. Todd
They
won't.
did.
Todd's not going to enjoy it no matter what.
They did create kind of a problem where they showed like
They showed all the variants
hundreds
at
of
the same time.
variants of
And they
him,
all
and
look the
all
same.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. But I mean, there can be that one that isn't. You know what I mean? Or they can literally just do whatever. Like again, like they swapped out. Early MCU, which was obviously a different time in the MCU, but they swapped out War Machine. Never, like, they just swapped him out. You know what I mean? And I would argue it wasn't like they got actors that looked similar. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just swapped him out with a different actor. So
Poor Cassie Lang, she got changed like 8 different times, man.
yeah.
We don't even talk about it.
So, anyways, welcome everyone to the Pass Control Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we talk about the MCU too much and how much Todd loves it. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week, as always. I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Saturday evening, I almost said Friday, is the anime senpai himself, Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how you doing?
Yeah.
I expected it. I expected it. Also joining us, of course, is the MCU's biggest fan, Todd Gary. Todd, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just glad that, like, after all this time, Scorsese was right, man. why you always fucking listen to Scorsese.
About
Guy
what?
knew what he was talking about the fucking comic book
Oh my
movies.
god, here we go. Todd needs to fucking find a new teat to suckle on because the Scorsese milk is dried up, buddy. And rounding us out tonight is the Legend of Zelda: Tears of the King, Dominic 40. Dom, how are you doing tonight?
Now, at what point in the week do you think that Brendan started
came up with that?
workshopping that one?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I was playing Zelda today, and when you signed on, it was like, oh, Dom's playing Tears of the Kingdom, and then it just kind of floated into my brain.
It's just kind of
and it's just been sitting in my pocket until tonight.
I'm picturing
like, there it is.
Brendan 8 Mile B Rabbit in the back of the bus scribbling things. Dun, dun, dun. All right, Dominic, Kingdom, Dom. Dun, dun.
Anyways, we got a great show
No,
for
we
you.
don't.
The last 20 minutes of the show we just had was fantastic. I love a good 20-minute intro. Those are my favorite. Love to see it.
Long cold open.
Long cold open. There's just a stinger. Next time I'll just say pass the controller. We'll just go into the show after that. Just
There it is.
no time for the full intro. A couple of quick housekeeping things before we roll into it. This episode, of course, sponsored by our good friends at Good Night Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore, Massachusetts, on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, you want yourself something hot, something sweet, something tasty, something fresh out of the oven. You can head on down to 1 Washington Square from 11 to 11, Mike?
I believe that's what they changed their
11
hours
to 11 on Friday and Saturday. Sunday, I don't believe. Well, Sunday they're open for Chubbies, so I don't know what time they close. This is a terrible ad read. I apologize.
Yeah,
But check them out on social media at Good Night Fatty. Get yourself some delicious cookies. You'll see these things and you'll be driving over here. Don't you worry. A couple other housekeeping things. I got some of the latest Pokemon card expansion packs early, a few weeks early, and we cracked those open. That video is up over on YouTube. If you want to see some of the pulls from that, you can check that out. Yeah, we'll just roll right into it. So before we get into the main topic tonight, which is the topic we pushed from last week, and we will absolutely talk about it tonight. But before we do that, Mike, have you been playing anything?
No, not really.
Have you been watching anything?
Let's see. Still need to finish Visions. Had finished Mando. Been still watching Oshinoko.
Wait, did you say you got to finish Visions? Is Visions the new season now?
Yeah, the new season came out
When?
before.
Yeah, May 4th.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, good to know.
Todd is all of a sudden a big Star Wars guy now.
No,
Anime.
I like.
He's a big
Visions. I
anime
like-
guy.
Oh,
yeah,
big
right.
anime guy.
I
forgot.
Yeah.
I obviously know what Todd and I have been playing, but before we dip into that, Dom, you recently finished Breath of the Wild in anticipation of getting to Tears of the Kingdom. Where are you coming down now on the other side of Breath of the Wild? Has your opinion on that game changed?
I mean, I still don't think it's the greatest game of all time, but
That's fair.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. You liked it more after you spent more time with it? Because I know initially, I know it wasn't really,
I liked
hooking
it.
into you.
I liked it more the farther I got into it, I
Okay,
guess.
cool.
What do you think it's here so far?
I haven't really gotten that far into it.
You
enough
still don't
to,
like the tutorial? The tutorial's like 5 hours if you fucking are having a hard time or like. I feel
I'm
like-
off of the opening area,
Okay.
and
You have gotten to the I don't want to spoil anything story wise. You have gotten to
I
or I
almost
guess
said something spoilers,
you
but
have
I
jumped
myself-
off of the
correct.
Is it called the Great
Yeah.
Sky Plateau? I don't even remember what
I
it's
think so.
called. It's basically the
something
Great
like that.
Plateau of this game. It's
Yeah.
like meant for
like
that.
that in similar songs on Amazon Music.
I just shut my
Yeah,
window
Todd, tell us more about
because
Amazon Music.
It's fucking pouring out. So I figured we could have a running segment at least until the Tears of the Kingdom well dries up a little bit as far as how often we are playing it. But we'll do a little thing called the Zel-Diaries, where we'll just kind of talk a little bit quickly about what we've been doing in the game. Spoiler free for now. At some point we can probably go into story stuff. But I figured that would just be like you know, I have a feeling that what Todd and I are both doing in the game, and now that Dom is playing it as well, we're gonna all be doing vastly different stuff. So where are you at right now, Todd? What's going on lately in your Hyrule?
Um, the last like 2 days, I've started trying to just unlock the entire map. Um,
A
of like
specific portion or
the old map from last game,
okay?
basically, the whole thing. Because
Wait, one thing, because I don't want to touch on one thing until Dom gets there.
yeah,
Dom,
yeah,
have
yeah.
you gotten to
No,
the third map yet or no?
No.
Okay. Do you know about the third map yet or no?
No.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like now
I mean, I don't know.
I feel like now social media is posting a lot more like kind of flagrantly about stuff about the game, and I think a lot of websites are just openly covering that stuff now too. So it will probably get it's not a spoiler, but I just think it's best for you to like discover it before you hear about it.
Okay.
I have, I think, one more section of the Hyrule map to open up,
Oh
and
wow,
then
okay.
oh yeah, no, because like I'm doing a side mission right now that involves all the stables, and I don't want to look anything up, so I've been just trying to find them all on my
Yeah,
own, but it's taking forever because I don't know where all the stables are, and you need to basically know where they all are.
yeah. Have you been to Hateno Village yet?
Is that as far east as possible,
Ah,
or like pretty
it is
far east?
pretty far east. I don't know. It's the place.
I'm
Oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say like I almost went there today, and then I was like, I don't need to go there yet because I need to do something else, and then I
Okay.
just got sidetracked.
So so
Oh, but I need rice there because I need to buy rice at a store, so I do have to go there tonight at some point. 'Cause I got to find like Hyrule rice or something
oh,
like
you can
that. Or
find that in just in the fields too. Like you can just find
I've
that.
been looking, like they said you can find it in like low water that you can walk through, and I haven't been able to find it. I've been looking everywhere for it.
I'm trying to think if I found it in water. I don't know if I found it in water, but I've definitely found that. But yeah, I think you can also buy that there because that village is like one of their things is they have a lot of produce, so you can buy
Okay,
a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
stuff like that
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I got to go there tonight. But
But
I just keep on getting sidetracked on everything. Like I told you, like I'm like doing one thing, then I'm like, fuck, I want to go over here, and then I end up. I have tried doing a side mission, no joke, like 5 or 6 times, and then halfway through it, I realize that I'm diverting from the path and just doing something completely different, and I have to fucking go back to what I was doing, like no joke, like every fucking time. Like I'm like, ooh, a shiny shrine. Oh, I'm gonna go up here. I
the
found a cave.
the first like week of the game, or at least like the first few days, I'll say like the first 4 days, the bare minimum. I spent most of my time once I got off the Sky Plateau in that third area, that third major area, and I would go there and I would spend like hours at a time, and then I'm like, I need to not be here. I need to be doing other things. But I've still up until today, or I guess last night, I was still not really progressing the main story in any way. You said you've jumped off. Have you gone to Lookout Landing yet, Dom?
Mm-hmm.
So there are a few things that will spin off of that area that will kind of branch, like the overall main quest, at least for the first portion of this game. I don't know if that will change at some point, but the first portion of the game is the main quest is find Zelda. Early on, once you get off the Sky Plateau, it'll branch a little bit. It's still find Zelda, but it's like maybe this we can find her, or maybe this we can find her, or maybe this we can find her. And the thing that I chose to start doing out of that branch of things you can do to push that along is now what has completely taken my time. Like I have spent all day trying to further that storyline because like especially now that Dom has gotten through the first part, like the game starts off super story heavy. Like it's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of narrative, which I'm not mad about. I think it's very interesting so far, and very curious to see where the story is going. The thing that I am specifically doing is every time I do one of these things, it is another cutscene of story, and I'm just like,
I'm so excited for that stuff.
I think there's like 18 of them as part of this thing, and I'm just like chipping away because I'm like, I need to know what is happening. Now I need to know what's happening.
You sent me that text today of that picture, and I was just like,
Yeah.
oh man. But like,
I know I wanted to
haven't
send that to
done-
Dom, but I didn't know how far Dom was, and I
yeah.
didn't want to do anything. So
I haven't done a story mission since I dropped down.
that was
I've done nothing.
That was my
and I got like
first.
30 hours in this game, and I haven't done a fucking story mission yet.
I've done a ton of side missions. Like I also spent, like I brought up Hateno Village because I went and did most of, or at least the ones that are available. I did a bunch of side quests there. There's like a mayor, like a local mayor election you have to like help. Like it's just like dumb stuff, but like I don't know. The side missions are really fucking good in this game. Like I don't remember them being as good in Breath of the Wild.
I don't remember side missions in Breath of the Wild.
Oh, there was definitely side missions. I think this game is just very purposefully like here's if you want to do quests, here they are, and like this is what you can do. But I'm also thinking I'm going down the path of like I kind of want to get all the armor sets now. Like I got
that's kind of what I want to do.
I completed one today. I spent a majority of my day before I was doing the main story stuff, doing that to get that final piece, which was it wasn't hard, but it was a long process.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a suit right now that lets me climb in the rain. Because like, dude, I love this fucking game. I only gripe. It's just like Breath of the Wild. It rains way too fucking much. Anytime I need to climb somewhere, it starts raining. And I'm
but there's stuff you can do to do that. Like there's equipment you can get. There's elixirs and potions you can make that will help you. Like there's things you can do. But there's also just so many ways to get around climbing now. If you want, you can just build shit and fucking, I would recommend trying to get all of the capsules unlocked so that you can like get the parts for everything.
Capsules?
Yeah, like you haven't done a capsule machine yet?
Oh, those. Yeah, gotcha. I don't know where they are though. So it's like it's just one of those things.
I think I've only found them in the sky.
They're only in this. Okay, that's.
I think so.
See, I haven't done a lot of sky stuff yet, so that's probably why I haven't.
I mean, I really haven't either, but now I've been at least like whenever I open a new thing that shoots me in the air, I will look around to see if I can spot a machine, and if I do, I'll go over that just to get new parts if I get new parts. But you can also find stuff like that in the other places too. So I don't know.
I'm complaints I have. What's I mean, this probably is. It actually doesn't really bother me that much, but I do like the fog and that you would walk and like kind of open the fog. I kind of miss the fog rather than just opening the whole entire section of like the map. Because remember how like you'd walk and you'd slowly everywhere you went. It was kind of like Ghost of Tsushima, like where like the fog would open up as you walked, and then if you opened up like a tower,
that's true.
It would open up bigger. Yeah.
Oh,
it definitely was. Remember, because like we would compare our maps all the time. I'd send you pictures and like
yeah. But I mean, they just replaced. It's just new towers.
It just opens. The towers just open up everything rather than like when it.
The tower didn't open up everything before.
It would open up a section, so it would open up like a vast section around that, and then the more you walked around areas,
so there was more towers.
Yeah, I think it might have been more towers.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was. Which is fine. It's not.
I mean, this game is so much bigger, though. I don't need fog map. Like I don't. I was gonna say, like, I would be. There's so much going on in this game.
I mean, I can easily say this is the best Zelda game I've ever played, and I love Breath of the Wild. Link to the Past is we'll see how this goes by the end, but like this is definitely probably one of the best Zelda games I've ever played.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's really up for me. I think Dom's favorite Zelda game is Majora's Mask.
Probably still.
Yeah,
I refuse to play that game.
Mine is. I don't know. It's hard to not say Breath of the Wild, but A Link to the Past is up there. Wind Waker is up there for me, and Ocarina of Time. But I was actually thinking about this today, and I might actually write something about this. But I feel like Zelda is one of the few games that I feel like there are points in my life where a specific new Zelda game comes out and it changes my relationship with video games. Like when Ocarina of Time came out, I feel like it changed me completely of like the games that I like, what games are to me, and like
you must have been really fucking young when that game came out.
I think I was in 6th grade or 4th grade.
Okay.
1998, I think.
Oh, is that when it was?
I think it was 98.
Oh wow,
Maybe it was
that's
99.
crazy.
Is it 1998? I
I
think
was a
it's
junior
98.
in high school, and that game was so impactful to me too. Though Ocarina of Time, like I just remember being like I was blown away by it. Like when you get into the field with the horse for the first time, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
holy shit!
1998. I mean the fucking title screen for Ocarina of Time. I used to just turn my
Why are they
N64
so good?
on
Why are they
and
so
just
good at
fucking
that?
leave it on.
Because I told you the title screen for. I'm like not heavily. I like Zelda games. Zelda games have been a part of my life since I was fucking growing up. But like that title screen, the tears is just when you just drop and like the Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom comes up, and I was just like
I
literally
mean
goosebumps. I'm
that
like,
was so good, and I think they did this in Breath of the Wild too. But I loved
I don't
how
remember
like
Breath of the Wild as much.
I loved how when this game starts, it just fucking starts, and
Yeah.
it's just like black screen, small text, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and I was like, they're fucking taking us for a ride right now. Breath of the Wild did that, I think, too, right?
I don't remember
Ah,
Breath of the Wild's
It
opening.
doesn't.
I just
It doesn't start you with 15 minutes worth of fucking
No, it
cinematic.
doesn't do that. But
yeah, no, definitely not. It doesn't suck you in
um,
as much. I don't think.
I will say, so I mean, it's no secret. Oh, go
It
ahead.
was. I will say that the beginning having to like just like it's like cinematic for 5 minutes and then walk forward for 5 minutes and then
Yeah.
cinematic for 5 minutes. I was like, I don't just play all of the cinematic. Just show me walking as part of a cinematic. I don't need to
Yeah.
be doing this.
The walking in between I didn't need. I
I
will
didn't
say the
mind.
first time I got control of Link though, the first thing I did was just like look all around. I'm like, this game is fucking great.
And there was nothing there. You're just in a dungeon.
I do like. I don't want to. I mean, it's the actual opening of the game, so like we don't have to go into detail about it.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do story stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
but I
Yeah.
really liked how.
I mean, it's good for people to know that if they turn on Tears of the Kingdom, be ready for like 15 to 20 minutes of not touching buttons. Like,
So-
you need to sit there and watch videos.
So like,
I mean, you do have to walk around to do it.
Yeah.
Like you have
no,
to
I
walk
mean,
around.
but I mean, like, you don't. There's like no.
Well, so
There's no gameplay for like a half an hour of game.
when I turned the game on, I was like finishing up some day job stuff, and I was like, oh, I'll just throw the game on because I love Zelda music, and I'm just assuming it's gonna put me to a title screen with fucking
Oh, yeah, you don't
music.
go to a title
And
screen.
I'm like sending emails and like doing all this stuff, and then it just starts going into it. I'm like, whoa, I gotta stop what the fuck I'm doing. I turned the game off and like hard turned it off so that way it would reboot from before that because I was not
it's
paying
so
attention.
funny you're saying that. I did the same because the kids were kind of around me,
Yeah.
and I wasn't because like my biggest complaint with Breath of the Wild was like lack of story and that like you had to seek it out more. And like the way this game starts, I was like, whoa, I'm so into this. I didn't even give a fuck. You could give me like an hour long cutscene of me walking, and I was so happy. And then like, but the kids started like talking. I'm like, all right, never mind. I pause. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play this. I'm already like, so amped for like what's going on right now. Like, just
I don't know
so
if it
good.
does it for every cutscene in the game, but at least the stuff that I am doing, you can rewatch the cutscenes after too, which I fucking really
cool.
appreciate because there's some good fucking shit
I've
happening.
noticed that at the bottom, it gives you the option to log it. And I don't know if that means you have to save the scenes.
I think the logging thing is just I haven't pressed that button, but I think it's
I
just
haven't
if you,
either.
I think it's just if you missed dialogue, you can click that and read through.
And it would go back.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can read through the text. I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I really liked how the game at the beginning gives you Link a reason for not being as powered up from Breath of the Wild. Like I enjoyed that
like
scene a
like
lot. It's a
20
good
something
scene. I like
hearts
that
and
scene.
like no, that scene's fucking awesome. I love it.
Fuck man, the game is really good. I would recommend like the thing with Breath of the Wild and the thing with Tears of the Kingdom, I wouldn't recommend anything. Like I like just go and chase the thing you want to chase and like enjoy that game and interact with it how you want to interact with it. I mean, that's what we're all doing. But when you are ready to go for main stuff, I would suggest, it's hard for me to even suggest because I haven't done the other paths yet, so I don't know how good that stuff is too. It could also be phenomenal. And I don't know if you, like, I'm assuming that you can challenge the end game similarly to Breath of the Wild. Like if you really wanted to, in Breath of the Wild, skip the Divine Beasts, you can do that and just go to Hyrule Castle and deal with Ganon or Calamity Ganon. I don't know if this game gates you. I think you can just go and do stuff if you want to.
Yeah, somebody beat it in 90 minutes, didn't
So yeah, you
we
must.
already see that?
There's probably maybe something aside from tutorial land. There's probably something you have to maybe do down there. But I'm curious what you can just go and do. So I don't know if all of the main stuff that leads you to find Zelda is necessary, but I would highly recommend doing the path that I'm on, which I'll just say is go and talk to oh my goodness, what is the Sheikah Guardian,
Impa?
Impa. Go and talk to Impa. That is what I would suggest.
I actually already started that, but I don't have the paraglider, so I couldn't progress it.
Oh
Have you
God.
done anything with her? Have you done any of the geoglyphs?
I literally got up in the balloon, and she's like, "All right, you can get off from here." And I was like, "I don't have the fucking paraglider," so
So how
I
did you
jumped
get-
out and died.
And where it just put you back down to the ground after?
It just puts you back at the bottom, and you have to rebuild the balloon for her.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, if you go,
So I'm getting the paraglider right now.
okay, yeah,
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I was
super
trying.
easy.
I was trying
It's
not
super
to say
easy to get
anything,
it.
but
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's like not spoiler, like that spoiler
No.
to just say like, listen,
You
there
know
are
you're
these
gonna get
characters
that.
in these games. We know these things, but so the thing with that quest line, Dom, with Impa, is
Yeah.
that it is a long quest line, and it's going to take you all over the game. But it can also be done as you're playing it, so like you don't have to just
Yeah.
do it all at once. Which I'm sort of not doing it all at once, but now I'm kind of like I want to see this next cutscene, so I'm gonna go do this thing. So I've done like I don't know, probably maybe 6 of them at this point. I think there was 18 of them. And I'll probably do more of those tonight before I
And
go to
that's
bed.
like only like one part of like the story campaign, right? There's like that's not even like the other parts, right?
Well,
That's just like a
Again, like as far as cinematic stuff, I'm sure there are other cinematics, but this
Yeah.
specific thing is definitely like tied to a specific part of the story.
could you like if you didn't do that part of the story, could you just skip that stuff?
You
'Cause, like, I don't
probably
want
could.
to miss anything.
I mean,
Like,
again,
that's-
that's why I'm gonna just throw my recommendation is, however you play this game, at some point, don't skip the Impa stuff. I would say, absolutely do that. Again, I don't know, it might not be skippable. You might have to do it, but judging on what I have done on that quest line, it seems like you probably could beat that game without doing it. So, if you're enjoying the story, I would recommend continuing to do that quest line before you finish the game. So yeah, that was I don't know. We'll touch base on Zelda periodically as we go through our time with that game, because it is it's a big one. It's a big one. So, Mike, when are you gonna buy Tears of the Kingdom? You already bought Breath of the Wild, so I feel like you need to buy Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, I think I don't need to buy Tears of the Kingdom.
well, once he
until I
buys it, he
beat
beats it.
Breath-
So
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. So you could beat it before all of us.
It's true. All right. Well, I guess I'll go to the store right now.
Perfect. That's another one. Add that to the 10 million copies already sold. It's fucking wild. Like, I know this game's gonna do well, but I was looking into the sales figures a little bit. First few days, 10 million. It's the fastest selling Switch game, or no, I'm sorry, it is the fastest selling Nintendo game in North America, I think.
More than Animal Crossing?
Fastest selling, yeah.
Oh wow.
Just in North America. I don't know, like, I'm assuming that means that maybe Animal Crossing like beat it in Japan or something.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's still kind of weird is Nintendo doesn't release their digital sales, so it's probably a much higher than 10 million. Like they don't include the digital sale. I don't know why they don't do that. Like
That's weird.
their numbers would be absolutely astronomical if they included that, because I would imagine that I would imagine at least 30 to 40% of people buy games digitally. It's probably honestly higher. Like Todd buys primarily digital at this point.
That's all, I don't buy
Yeah.
anything physical. Yeah. It's all
Did you buy
digital.
Zelda digital?
Yeah.
I
Did you
knew
buy
that.
digital though.
No, I have it physical. I had read like earlier in the week. So Scarlet and Violet also had 10 million copies in their first 3 days.
Interesting. So, but it must have been
It was
heavy
worldwide.
other, yeah.
4 million in Japan.
Yeah. I think it was. I think more of that 10 million was here than it was other places.
Which is
I think that's
crazy
why.
because like comparing like Scarlet and Violet to like Zelda is fucking, and the fact that that sold 10 million, like I feel like Zelda should have sold 30 million just
I mean,
based off of
this
like
Zelda
the
game is
problems
gonna
that Scarlet and
absolutely.
Violet had, and like
This Zelda game will go on to be like one of the best selling, if not the best selling Zelda game. I would imagine. I think Breath of the Wild is at 18 million. I think.
yeah, I was
Actually,
watching
I
this
don't
thing.
even know.
I watched the ticker of like all the Zelda sales, and it like slowly as you go by year, like the ones that sold the most, and like Tears of the Kingdom was already like almost caught up to like a bulk of the titles in like the first week.
Tears of the Kingdom sold 4 million in the Americas.
So overall, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is almost at 54 million. Animal Crossing is 42, a little over 42. Smash is a little over 31. Breath of the Wild is, oh my god, Breath of the Wild is almost 30 million. Sword and Shield is just shy of 26. Odyssey is just shy of 26. So yeah, Scarlet Violet's at a little over 22.
So like Breath of the Wild sold more than Odyssey. I find that
It's
like
it's
crazy.
not normal for Zelda to outsell Mario.
Yeah, that's fucking wild to me.
Like yeah, the Mario games usually tend to be like. I mean, Mario
Yeah.
appeals to way more of an audience, obviously. I think especially starting off with 10 million, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is gonna pass 30 million
Yeah.
easy.
Oh yeah.
Especially
Dude,
with
this is
the
like,
Switch's install base at this point.
and if you're on like any kind of social media stuff, all it is fucking Breath of the Wild everywhere. It's like there's no other game like catching the limelight like Breath of the Wild is, and like it's all for different things. It's like
Oh, you talking about Tears, right?
crucify.
Talking about right now, Tears?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tears. Yeah. It's like crucifying Koroks or fucking like building these crazy mechs that like fucking shoot out UAVs.
Oh,
It's just
this
fucking
game is
insane.
having a field day on the internet. Like this is gonna
it's crazy.
carry traffic for so many websites
I
for
was gonna
so
say that's
long
just
now.
helping sales on top of that. Like it's free marketing basically because
It's
like
for real
For
estate.
real estate.
yeah for
So
Behind Breath of the Wild and Tears now, the next top selling Zelda game was Twilight Princess. Does anybody want to take a
Really?
guess at all of the versions of that game combined?
Twilight
How many it is?
Princess, 8
8
million.
million.
8.6.
Yeah.
Oh shit, nice.
What? So Galaxy did what? What is Galaxy's sales numbers? Because that would be the equivalent Mario game.
I'm on a list of just the Zelda games and how they sold.
Let me see. Galaxy
I
did
want a Twilight.
just shy of 13 million, and Galaxy 2 did. I guess we'll just go Wii games. I mean, New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii did over 30 million. Wii Sports, it goes Wii Sports, Mario Kart Wii, Wii Sports Resort, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, then Wii Play, Wii Fit Plus, Brawl. Galaxy did just shy of 13. Oh wow, Galaxy 2 only did 7.4. But that's also like kind of not a normal, like they don't really do direct sequels to Mario games as much anymore. So that's probably maybe part of that reason. When did it come out? 2010. 3-year gap. When did the Wii U come out? 2013. I think 2013. Yeah. So I don't know. It's good to see this game doing well. I mean, I love Zelda. I would love to see them continuing to take risks with their stuff. I mean, I don't think I would say Breath of the Wild was a risk gameplay like what they were doing in that game. I think Tears of the Kingdom is again not necessarily a risk, but I feel like they are doing so much more with this game outside of what I think people would typically associate with Zelda. I don't think it doesn't fit. I think it works really well, but I think it's just like, I mean, go back to a few weeks ago. Todd was very
I wasn't even
worried about the building
Yeah,
stuff, like very like adverse
I
to
well, I
that
wasn't
being
even
in the
like
game.
not even just that. Not even just that. Like I was like, I don't know. It's just gonna be more Breath of the Wild kind of thing, and like now I haven't touched fucking
It
anything.
really is
for a
so
week.
much more than like it's like if
No.
if
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
if you are interested or like on the fence and have played Breath of the Wild and you're like, I don't know if I just want to play another game that's just more Breath of the Wild, like obviously there's a lot of Breath of the Wilds in this game, but it really is so much more of its own thing too, with the story stuff going on, with the new
I mean, the
gameplay
only
mechanics.
similarity I feel like is like the map. I think
But that's such a like. But even that's such a
but like
bad thing to say because the map
no,
is
because like
really so different.
because like I feel like I'm exploring a new map all over again. Like I don't remember a lot. It's like way more filled in. It's like there's just way more shit to do now. It's just yeah.
There's a lot going on.
No,
There's a lot
no
going
way,
on.
no way. This game's not walking away with Game of the Year. I'm sorry, but like, this is fucking nothing that's going to be able to compete
Yeah,
with
I
it. I
mean,
don't even Starfield.
it's
I
gonna
don't
be
fucking
it's
think
gonna be tough for something to I think swing and hit as hard as this. I'd love to see other things knock out of the park, but we'll see. So we kind of run into the same problem again, but I'm not gonna push this topic. I
Let's push
didn't
it to
think we were
next
gonna
week.
talk about. No,
Let's talk about Overwatch.
we're not gonna
We
push
can
this to
talk
next
about
week.
how Overwatch is a dumpster fire.
Did I bring it up at the beginning of the episode or no? No, we're not talking about
No.
Overwatch now. We can talk about Overwatch
No,
next week.
we can save that for next week.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it'll be dead by next week. We don't even have to talk about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So we can just do a post-mortem. We can just do a
Yes,
a
I like
eulogy.
it. I like it. Right.
Maybe that's what we'll do next week. We'll do an Overwatch eulogy.
Yes, I like
we'll get some other Overwatch people on with us, and we'll talk about Overwatch. But yeah, so I quickly wanted to just kind of go over Redfall. I mean, we touched on it last week, and then we pushed it, so I don't want to skip it again. If you're really eager to listen to us talk about Redfall, you haven't started it yet, Dom, right?
No.
Have you played any more of it, Todd? I'm sure you won't in Breath of the Wild time, but have you played any more?
Yeah,
Or
no, I mean, like I put like 15 plus hours into it,
did
and
you
like
get to the second map or no?
I'm literally. I think I need one more thing to put into fucking the gate to fight the first boss.
Okay.
Yeah, but honestly, like I just like maybe when I have a drought, I'll go back to it. But at this point, like that game, like there's just nothing in that game that they do well, and it's just I've seen people say that they think the gunplay is good, and I think the gunplay is fucking atrocious in that game. And it's like
It's
that's the
weird
big
because
draw.
I watched a friend of the show, Alex Van Aken, play it in Discord on his PC, like on
Yeah,
high
it looks way
settings,
better.
and it looks much better, and it definitely plays much better. So I can see someone playing on PC with 60 frames per second enjoying the gunplay a lot more, because I think it just looked and ran a lot better. And watching him play, I was like, wow, that looks like a different game, to be honest. But just it running better doesn't mean that like the gunplay is necessarily that great. Like
Yeah,
it was
there's
fine.
something off about it. Like I can't place it. I don't know how to say like what bothers me about it. I just feel like I'm shooting into something that like there's like no effect when you hit anything. So it's like you're just shooting shots and like, there's no like kick pushback of enemies and like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
it is a very unfortunate situation. It was a game I was kind of pumped up for. I was like, oh, this is I like playing cooperative games. I like playing cooperative shooters. It was going to be on Game Pass, so that gave us all access to it. I was like, this is going to be great. Like, we can hop in, play this together. I was really looking forward to that multiplayer experience, like a co-op multiplayer experience.
But it's a half-baked co-op.
It's just not
like,
the co-op doesn't feel great. Like the fact that if I host the game and all four of us are playing together, only my story progress carries over. Like only my story progress stays the same.
Yeah.
The levels that your characters gain and the items you pick up and all that stuff you'll keep, but the game play progress we make doesn't carry over. So like,
It'd be one thing if like the story in the game was really, really fucking good. I'd be like, yeah, let's jump right back into it, and I'll do what you do with me now.
And that's kind of what I was hoping for. I was like, oh, you know what? Like I'll have my character that I play on my file, and then I'll play a different class, a different character when I play with Todd. You know what I mean? And playing more of that game, I was like, oh, absolutely no, I am not going to do that. And it was unfortunate. So I had the game early because we were reviewing it, and I played probably like 6 hours in my first session with Jesse Vitelli, friend of the show. So he was also reviewing it, and then I was like, oh, I need to play more of this game, and now I have to fucking get back to where we were on my own. And then I didn't play any more multiplayer after that because I was like, I want to get through this game to give it a fair shake. So I had to kind of I did a couple of things multiplayer just to like try out like vampire dens. They're not called dens. I forget what they're called. Like certain things that would have been easier, and they were easier with multiplayer. But I primarily played the rest of the game solo that point forward. Like I don't hate the game. I did find enough enjoyment there to push all the way through it. But it just, I think really it comes down to everything about it feels like it's trying to do it. Actually, I don't feel like it's trying to do a lot of things. But I do feel like it's trying to do, a handful of things, and it doesn't do any of them really that well, which is unfortunate. Because if it had like one thing that was like the star of the show, like, you know what, story's really good, let's fucking push through. Or you know what, everything kind of sucks, but like the gunplay is fun. Whatever, the powers are fun, or the enemy encounters are fun, but really none of that was there. I found myself like the game is supposed to be like, an immersive sim, or you can challenge enemy encounters in specific, or change how you like approach the battle, or like look for different entrances, or how to get into a building, or all this stuff. And it was just,
you can just walk by AI and they won't shoot at you, or they
yeah,
can't
like
hit you. Just
like
so silly.
the AI, like the enemy power definitely scales up and gets a little more difficult, especially on the second map. But I don't think the enemies get better.
Smarter.
Like they don't get smarter, which it was kind of unfortunate. You encounter like harder vampires and stuff, but even those, I feel like I kind of breeze through most of the time.
Yeah.
The mid main boss and then the final boss of the game, put up a fight and took some time for me. But once I figured out what I had to do, I feel like it wasn't that, like I kind of just like did what I needed to do to beat this boss, and then that was kind of the end of it.
It's wild to me that, I don't know, everyone who works at Xbox, and I heard that like they had it test reviewed and they were like, it was like 8s, and I'm like, dude, they're full of shit. It's wild to me because I think this has done more harm for Xbox than it's done, hey, here's a game to put out in the middle of the year. I think this has done like a really fucking, it's hurt Xbox's brand putting out this game like this. When like, it's Arcane. It's a fucking a well-respected studio. B, like, we haven't, me, I bitch and moan about Xbox. Like, I'm like, I'm going to use Xbox no matter what. But I would love to see them start fucking cranking out some fucking bangers. And like, them putting this out just did them a complete disservice. Like, I just don't know how they thought this game was okay to go out. If they had to push this game back and delay it again, people would be like, what the fuck? But honestly, I think they should have done that, personally.
I agree with you, and I think that going forward, they really can't afford to have a misstep, and they should
That's what I'm saying.
delay
They've had so many.
anything
Man,
that
like,
is not going to be like. I mean, does
I wouldn't be
everything
surprised
have
if
to be 10 out
Starfield
of
gets
10?
delayed again
No,
at
but
this
like
point.
at this point, they need a 10 out of 10. Like we can kind of segue this into
they need
other
a
part.
9 out of 10. They just need like.
Well,
like,
I mean, listen.
I'll take it.
Well,
Hi-Fi Rush was great.
well, here's the thing, and
Don't
I
be
feel
wrong.
like here's the real problem with Redfall is that Redfall being mediocre is bad for a lot of reasons, but on the state of Xbox situation side of things, it's like Redfall being this bad and received this poorly critically.
They pumped it up forever too. Like, this was a game. This was it's Arcane. Like,
Yeah,
they
I mean,
fucking pumped
there's
the
that
shit out
side
of
of
the
it,
game.
but
Like,
we're coming off of, delayed games, drought, whatever you want to call it. But we start the year off strong. We have a good, there's a good, like that Xbox Developer Direct in January that showcased like I think 4 or 5 games or something. One of those games is Hi-Fi Rush. Shadow dropped on Game Pass. Critical success. People loving that game. Internet going crazy. I personally love that game. Great. Minecraft Legends comes out. I think it got like kind of middling reviews, but I think that game is doing really strong. Still, and I mean it's also Minecraft, or not Minecraft Legends. Is it Legends? Yeah, Legends. I was confusing with Dungeons. So like they have those two things, and it's like, all right, the build up to Redfall. Redfall's coming. Redfall needs to kind of be this next swing. I feel like Redfall doing what it did has like erased people even thinking about Hi-Fi Rush.
and
Minecraft.
the worst thing about this is that, like, I want to say like 3 or 4 months ago, there was like a leak that said like, hey, Redfall is in no way ready to go out. And everyone's like, oh, fucking that guy's full of shit. Because I don't know who leaked it or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's in really bad shape. And that guy was completely right.
I mean,
and they would still fucking release it. They were
listen,
like, yeah, you know what?
I'll say this. As it stands right now, I think the Bethesda purchase so far was a fucking bad idea. It hasn't really done much for Xbox.
Well,
Like,
they purchased them right after they launched like a bunch of big games, so like
no,
it's going to be a while before we get
well,
to
not
them.
only that,
Like,
but like they purchased them while they were already locked into like Deathloop being a game people loved, but it was a PlayStation
yeah,
exclusive, and they honored that and
yeah,
left it there
right,
for a
yeah,
year.
right, yeah,
And
yeah,
Ghostwire
right.
Tokyo, like
Yep.
both of those games launched on PlayStation and stayed there, and they're both on Xbox now, and they're on Game Pass, and that's great. But like the fanfare around those games is
The
past.
hype
Like
is dead.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
like, yeah.
those games being great and being on Xbox now is fantastic, but like Xbox really needs people to be like, what is the reason to come into the Xbox ecosystem? What is the reason to either get an Xbox or get Game Pass? And I can sit here as someone who plays on everything. I enjoy Game Pass. I enjoy my Xbox. I choose to play on Xbox over PlayStation when that's my option. Um, but even as someone who loves Halo, I mean, I'm not playing Halo regularly right now.
Still want to go back to Halo though.
I do
I'm
too.
like,
I just
yeah,
where's the time,
yeah.
unfortunately.
I will say too, and there's another game that Xbox launched in the middle of all this. I think it was like a week or two before Redfall. It was Benedict Fox. I think it was an Xbox exclusive. The game got middling reviews. I tried playing it. It controlled fucking horrible. I was just like, oh, dude,
Yeah,
like,
I haven't
this is
downloaded
the
it.
stuff that you're like, yeah. I mean, you can try it. I'm
I
sure.
mean
Like,
that's a smaller one. And I will say
yeah,
too,
but like,
like
it's just like,
we're also coming off of what I would say is a win of end of last year, Pentiment, which is a game that no one besides the people that are really dialed in.
yeah, that's like,
It's
yeah.
such a niche
I don't
game,
think that's
but
not a game for everyone.
it's
That
not.
was
But
great. It was
that
fucking
game is
awesome.
a
It was fucking awesome.
is a
Yeah,
banger,
great.
and I would argue that that's like a giant fucking check mark on a good reason to have an Xbox.
Well, it's funny because I was looking at like all the games at Xbox. People like, oh, everyone's shitting on Xbox, but look at all these games. And it was like Forza, which is Forza's fucking dope. I love Forza, Horizon at least. And then it was Pentiment, but like Pentiment's not for everyone. It was what was it? It was a bunch of like games, like Age of Empires, which is like Age of Empires is not.
I actually
There's
need to
no,
download Age of Empires because I
yeah,
fucking love
like
Age of Empires.
yeah, I'm sure it's fucking awesome, but like that's not for everyone. And those aren't games. Those are great games for like a certain type of. They need a big blockbuster.
Here's the reality of what they need. They need their version of Spider-Man or God of War or Horizon.
anything
They
like
just
any
that's what they
yeah.
need. They need this third person over the
This
shoulder
is this is why
action game. They need their
Dude,
Last of Us. They need their
it's a
not. They
dumb
need
idea.
their Uncharted. That's what they need. They need one thing that is critically received well. Commercially, who knows? Because of Game Pass, but they
That's
just
why I
need
hate that
something
they
that's
did Perfect Dark. I hate that that's the focus of one of their biggest studios right now. Like their homegrown studio is fucking Perfect Dark because like I just wish they new IP. Just give us something fucking new.
I mean,
Because
I would
like
argue
we have,
that them
they
rebooting
released
and
that.
doing a new Perfect Dark is essentially a new IP at this point. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
sure,
two
but
game
like,
that's a two
but
game thing
when
that's
did they
like
show us that quote unquote little mini trailer?
a long time ago.
And
The
we've
state of
heard
that game
nothing.
the state of
It's
that
just
game makes me
you've
nervous.
heard developers leaving. You've heard like it's just like what are they doing, man? How are they fumbling this so much? It's
I
like
don't know. I mean,
I
listen,
don't get it.
with that game, I
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm on the side of like I know games are in the works at every studio everywhere. I don't need to know about these things super early. Xbox has this problem right now of they need people to know they have games coming. They also need to have
that's
games
part of
coming
their
out.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Part of
100%.
their problem is that they're telling people we've got this game and it's going to be on Game Pass on this day.
Yeah.
And then they're locked into a day
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
right.
they've got people subscribed to this service for this game on this day.
Yeah.
So like they need to get more lax on what they tell the public about release dates. That's
Unless they're sure they can nail it, you know what I mean? Like unless they know that it's there. I'll say this: Starfield, I think, also occupies a space that is
Niche,
not
Ben,
for
in a weird
everyone.
way.
It's not niche.
Yeah,
It's not
100%.
niche.
No,
but
yeah, no, because Skyrim is massive.
what
but,
it
like,
needs to be, Starfield needs to be the new Skyrim. That's what it needs to be. If it is not that, there's I don't know what the future
that
of
game has been in
Xbox
development
Game
for so
Studios looks
long.
like.
I just feel like it can't. It has to be something special at this point. You can't have a game in development for that long. Like a very respected developers that made some of like the biggest games ever. and it just be a dud.
I
Like
don't know.
just
I mean,
can't.
listen, everyone can make bad games. I mean, Fallout 76. I mean, just look. Fallout 76, Fallout 4. I don't know how well it reviewed, but like I bounced off that game
It
pretty
did
hard.
okay.
Um, you know, they need this game to be a very, very, very monumental game
And then they got like an Indiana
for them.
Jones games in the cards, but like that, like there is never like, yeah, it's great that they're not releasing any dates or gameplay on that game, but like all I've heard
We're
about is
never
that
get
game
we're
for like
never getting that fucking game.
I've heard about that game for like almost 10 years. I feel like at this point, you know, it's like just like something
But
that's
that's
in the
something
bag.
that could
It's
be
it's
what.
because I was just thinking when we started this conversation, I was like, whatever happened with Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Oh right,
Oh,
yeah.
that thing is.
That's never.
I think
happening.
at
That's
this
just
point,
no.
that game is currently the longest delayed game of all time.
Yeah, probably.
It's gotta
Yeah,
be.
makes
I'm
sense.
pretty sure.
That was like, was that 10 years ago at this point?
I
Oh,
think so.
easily.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it
yeah.
was. I'm pretty sure it's currently like the longest game that we know of in development.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
and I said
It's-
this to Brendan, out of everything, Dead Island was one of those games. It's like a very long game that's like it's in development hell, and then all of a sudden they're
Yeah.
like, we're releasing this game, and everyone's like, okay, that game is apparently way better than Redfall. Like it's like
Yeah.
people actually thought it was okay, and like I fucking was gonna buy that game. I didn't. I should have just fucking bought that game instead.
I will say if you care more about this ongoing dialogue about like
15 years.
Redfall and like the state of Xbox and stuff, the Kind of Funny XCast last week or 2 weeks or whenever Redfall came out, they had Phil Spencer on to kind of talk about the launch of Redfall and kind of Xbox as it stands currently. And take it for what it is, but I think that they asked some interesting questions, and I think Phil Spencer is candid about certain things. So if you're into that topic a little bit more, I think that's an interesting thing to go listen to because I think it's very topical, and obviously it's a little more insight from the head of Xbox Game Studios or the head of Xbox. I think that Redfall could potentially have its Sea of Thieves moment. I think it could go back in the oven, get a little more flushed out. The way the game ends, it definitely ends in a way of like, we plan on adding DLC to this game, like story-wise. So I can absolutely see them trying to basically relaunch Redfall in a year or so with whatever that may be, new missions, new story, like all the stuff.
Do you think they're going to actually, because like I don't disagree with you on that, but do you think they're actually going to even put the effort into that, knowing how everything played out and like just knowing that? Like,
I think
if
that
it's already in development, they'll finish it.
Yeah, I think at the bare minimum, they're going to work on some of the, like they want to get performance mode out for Xbox consoles.
Yeah.
There's definitely stuff they are actively working on and trying to fix.
And I don't think
especially if they're
going to fix that game though. Like,
but if they've got DLC in the works, then they might just advertise it like, "Hey, like come play this. We reworked this whole game and we've got new story for you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think with Game Pass, it is an added reason for them to want to continue to work on it because Game Pass is a platform that like they could relaunch Redfall, like remarket it, reintroduce it to people through this, bonus content or whatever, and it's not necessarily getting people to buy a game. It's you either already subscribe to Game Pass or this is an additional reason to get Game Pass. So I could see them doing that. I mean, listen, I'm surprised they're still developing stuff for Sea of Thieves, to be honest, because I like Sea of Thieves. I like the concept of Sea of Thieves. I don't think I ever have terribly too much fun when I'm playing Sea of Thieves.
oh man,
but people love that game.
I want to play with
game.
friends. Like I played that game solo and I loved it. Like I would just want to play with friends. I still remember when we all played and we were just fucking hysterically laughing, going around in the circle, and like we were all like, "What is going on?" And that was like a bare bones game at that point. It was so bare bones. It was like
I think Redfall, my opinion, I think Redfall has enough there that if they did flesh some things out, fine-tune some things, I think it could have... Is it going to have this swing from fucking mediocre game to like, oh my god, gotta play Redfall? Probably not, but I think it can have a swing out of that mediocre category to being like, you know what? Like, this is a solid game now. or it's a fun co-op time. Like, because that's the other thing is like, I feel like when Jesse and I played 2 players, the game felt kind of balanced around that. But when me, you, Jesse, and Eric were playing together, I feel like, and that was the beginning of the game, I felt like nothing, there was no resistance. It was
I just felt like me and
we
Eric
broke
were
the
like,
game.
"What the fuck is this game?" We were like, "I can't believe they released
Yeah.
this game." We were, I feel like that was our coming out of our mouth like every 2 seconds.
Yes.
We were just
Yeah.
like, and I didn't want to say too much, but I was just like,
Yeah.
"I can't believe this
It
what
is
we're
it
getting."
is unfortunate. Like I know that Arcane is respected for Dishonored, Prey.
It's a different branch of Arcane,
Um,
though. Like it's not even like the same people who made Prey or Dishonored. I don't think.
No,
Like,
it
it's like
is.
a different.
It is that.
Well, it's the people who made Prey, but not the people who made Dishonored. I believe.
I don't think
is
that's
what it is.
correct. I think the people
I
that
think,
made Deathloop is the other Arcane studio. I think this Arcane
well, maybe.
studio made.
I can't remember which one it is.
This is
it's like
Arcane Austin.
Austin, okay.
I think the other Arcane studio is the one that made Deathloop. But I don't know. I think it's something to it. I think there's potential that they could do something more with this game in the future. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Arcane, get it right, get a chance at making it right. So
Arcane Austin did Prey, so it wasn't. It's not Deathloop people or the people who did Dishonored.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so
still think they help on all of the games because they're the same studio.
Yeah,
but I think
I'm
it's like
sure they share
like this
assets
is
and
like
everything. Yeah,
Austin's game, and the other ones are Leon. I think is the other studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where things are at. I think Xbox really needs to have some sleeper darling, like a Hi-Fi Rush again this year. But they really need to have. They really gotta have Starfield be a good game.
Game Pass has also been like, me. I play I love Game Pass because it like I'll try all the stuff, but I feel like Game Pass has been pretty bland the last couple months for the most part. There hasn't been like a lot of big stuff on it that I actually want to play, and usually that's not the case. But I feel like I don't understand why we don't have Diablo on Game Pass. Like, everyone already knows that even if the deal's not closed, it's like on its way to happening. I don't understand why they couldn't just like work something out where they could just get that on fucking. Because that would be a huge Game Pass.
Yeah, but my guess is that like it's probably a better announcement for them to be like, hey, all of these games are now on Game Pass, as opposed to like Diablo 4's day one.
So like, I don't think the whole Activision Blizzard thing's a good thing. Like, I that's not something I want to see Xbox go after. Because like, yeah, hey, I buy Call of Duty every year. Great, I'll get it for free now. But I'm gonna buy it regardless of fucking Game Pass if it wasn't on Game Pass. But like,
I mean, I think the Call of Duty thing actually makes this a big acquisition for them simply because Call of Duty is not going to become exclusive, but they will probably have like DLC first, or special weapons or skins. Like they're gonna have shit like that.
Early access.
Yes, they will have stuff like that will absolutely persuade Call of Duty players to be like, you know what, maybe I'll fucking switch to Xbox. Because
Call of Duty, you get Call of Duty on Game Pass a week early.
That
that's
huge.
huge. That's huge.
I
mean,
that's killer.
That's huge. For me, that's huge. But Blizzard's a fucking train wreck right now, and it's like,
I mean, yes,
Diablo, I think,
it is,
I
but
think
like Diablo's huge.
incredible.
Diablo's going to be ridiculous for that.
Everything I've heard about Diablo is going to be fucking sounds great. So like, but like, I think Diablo comes out once every fucking 10 years.
But that also puts Activision Blizzard back catalog onto Game Pass, which I think is also, aside from licensed stuff, which probably won't find its way there. I mean, there are a lot of things that would find its way onto that service.
Earlier, you said the Bethesda thing was not great. Wasn't Hi-Fi Rush Bethesda?
Yeah,
it was. So yeah, but I think overall, aside from Hi-Fi Rush,
that's not like what you're looking for.
It hasn't.
It has Bethesda, but yeah. I mean, it just popped into my head.
Yeah.
While we were talking,
like you get back catalog on Game Pass, which is cool. You get Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, old Doom games. You get old Fallout stuff. Like you're getting cool stuff, but I think that's just the thing. And like I'm a pro Game Pass person. Like I think Game Pass is great.
Fallout 76 was new when that was acquired, right?
Yeah. I think it was out already. I think it was out already for No,
Was it?
I think we did buy it.
Did we?
I'm
Oh,
pretty sure we did buy it.
Wait, did we buy it? Did I buy it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we bought
No,
that game.
I think it was Game. I don't think I
I
bought
thought,
it.
I thought we had
I'm
it on Game
pretty
Pass.
sure. I
Yeah.
feel like we bought Fallout 76. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it happened right around the same time.
I will. From what I've heard, Fallout 76 is in a great place right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gotten a lot
it
better.
swung
as well.
around. So like, listen, game. Again, like, can Redfall have a No Man's Sky moment? I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. But it could be a Fallout 76. It could be a Sea of Thieves where it has a dedicated player base. There are Arcane fans, there are Bethesda fans that
The problem is
would be happy to
that,
go
like,
into that game if it was fleshed out.
Sea of Thieves is like more of like the excitement of like looting people and fucking getting treasure, where like Redfall is just like straight up like missions and stuff that don't change.
But they could
like,
add stuff to make that like better weapons, better gear, better missions, better reasons to play co-op. I think there is enough there that they could add to it. What are you saying?
76 has been out since 2018.
When did Game Pass start? I don't
It was
even.
before
Or
that, I
when
think.
did they buy Bethesda? I guess
2021.
Okay. Yeah. So we
I'm
probably
pretty sure.
bought.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I bought it. I'm pretty sure it was on Game Pass. I'll Google right now, but
Unless it was a Game Pass game, which
It
is
could have
possible.
been, yeah. I guess it could have just been.
I think it was.
I could have sworn we paid for it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Because I'm pretty because me, you and Dom played it, and I don't think all of us bought that game. There's no way we all bought that game when it came out.
Well, we definitely
Like,
didn't
is it-
all buy the game.
Who shares Xbox?
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure we bought the game digitally. I'm pretty sure one of us purchased
We
that
could
game.
have.
I actually think whatever else. What year did it come out?
2018.
2018 Xbox games.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to have been an Xbox game either.
Well, what I'm saying, so what I'm looking at is, I think one of us bought Fallout 76 and one of us
So
bought
one of us bought something.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what happened there.
From what I just read, it launched with Game Pass.
Oh, then that might be the case too. Then I don't fucking know.
Because trust me, if I bought a game like Fallout 76, I would have forced myself to play it for a little bit, and I did not play that game longer than like 3 days, maybe.
Red Dead Redemption 2 also came out around the same time. It looks like September. Oh no, October. And Fallout 76 came out in November.
No, it looks like, according to this article, Fallout 76 came to Game Pass in 2020. 2
And when
years
did it?
later. I'm pretty sure we paid for that game. I mean, I can
weird.
try to find out later. I'm not going to sit here and
Yeah,
look for that.
I'll
now.
check through my games. I'm actually curious.
I'm pretty sure that we paid for that game. I mean, I could be tempted to download that game again.
I did. I downloaded it. I jumped in one time, and I was like, "Oh, it feels way better." And like, there was way more people active and like doing stuff and everything. So
I think it has a pretty
That's-
healthy community. I think there are a lot of people that play that
does.
game,
Yeah.
or like a lot of dedicated people. Like, I don't know how large the player base is, but I think there are a lot of people that's the game they play.
I think that if you jumped into that game, it's one of those games where like, don't try to fuck with anyone because you'll just get fucking annihilated because
Yeah.
everyone who's playing it's been playing it like nonstop for like the last couple of years.
So yeah, I don't know. The state of Xbox is not great right now. Like, this might be the biggest low, I think. Like, I think this is potentially worse than them like delaying Halo. Like, I think this is like a lot of goodwill was being built up.
I think it looks worse because of where the other two studios are at right now.
Yeah.
Or where the other two
Yeah.
companies are at right now.
Like, I don't want them to launch Starfall broken or bad. But if
Starfield,
they
right?
Starfield, if they have to delay that game again, like,
Do
again,
it.
for the
Fucking
game's
delay it.
sake, do it. But wow, that's a really bad year for them if they have to then delay Starfield.
I will not
this
be
year.
surprised if that game gets delayed because that game's been delayed how many times at this point?
My guess is that, and again, we don't know everything that Xbox has got under the hood. We don't know who's working on what and what's planning to come out this year or in the next 12 months or whatever. My guess is that some of their other studios, or at least some of the other like Bethesda umbrella studios, might be shifting support to whichever like main studio is working on Starfield, because they gotta make sure that game is like releases in a great state and is a good game.
I told Brenden that like I don't know if I told you this, Don, but like I read that what the guys who do Doom, have been working on the gunplay for like the last like 6 months with
Oh,
Starfield.
really?
It's like, yeah, they're like using like that's what they should be fucking doing though. Like, you know, like it's like they like utilize. You just bought all these fucking things. You're all a family now. Fucking, you know, like just fucking. I don't know. I just I'm so confused by it. All of this stuff doesn't bother me as much though because I know I'm going to play on Xbox no matter what. So it's not like for me, it's not a big deal. It's for other people that they need to bring into the ecosystem that it's a problem. And Dom, you're over here like I just got a PS5 and it's way better. You know, it's like,
I mean, I don't really care one way or the other.
yeah, I don't either. As long as like, you know, I got good games and
Well,
I can be happy.
I got a Series S too.
Yeah.
Yeah. June 11th, we'll find out what Xbox is planning to do for the rest of the
Right.
year at their showcase. I think they can steal back a lot of goodwill and good conversation if they have a Double Fine game to show in June.
Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon though, and I wish it was the
I
case.
mean, I feel like they could at least reveal if Tim Schafer is on that showcase and comes out and reveals what their next project is. I think that can.
When was Psychonauts? 2 years ago?
2
2 years ago,
years
yeah. And that game was in development hell for a long fucking time.
Yeah, they should have more support at this point.
But
Yeah,
I don't even
with
know if-
Microsoft, they should have more support.
They
like,
do take a long time to make their games.
I thought Psychonauts was like one of the best games I played that year, but I don't know if that has like the following enough to bring people to the Xbox ecosystem.
Yeah,
like, you know what
I
I'm saying?
don't
Like,
think that's the case, but I agree. I think Psychonauts 2 is a fucking
awesome.
phenomenal game. I think that's one of the
Yeah.
best games that came out that year.
Yeah. And I never played the first one, and dude, like that game sucked me in. I was like, this game is
That game is phenomenal. That game turned me into a Double Fine fan. That game forced me to watch 2 Double Fine documentaries that are very long on YouTube. Anyways, so yeah, that's our sorted Redfall review. Like I said, if you want the full take that I have on Redfall, me, Todd, Jesse, and Eric did a first hour Let's Play for our initial first impressions of playing that game. It's over on our YouTube channel. And then I did a full written review over on our YouTube channel, on our website at pastthecontroller.io. So if you want my full thoughts on Redfall, you can find that there. But yeah, without further ado, that brings us to everyone's favorite part of the episode where you can turn it off. Well, not just yet, but what we like to call, I don't know. We need to think of just an overall fucking name for this. It's video game trivia and or other game where we keep track of the score all year long. But before we get into that, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode 370. If you want to support the show, the best way you can do that and the easiest and freest way you can do that is to just simply leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to the show. Leave us a comment on YouTube if you watch there. Subscribe to us on all these platforms. Follow us on social media at PassController. All these things are just free, easy ways to support us, and they do a lot to grow the show and grow the channel. So if you can leave us a 5-star review, we'd be super appreciative about that. If you have some bucks kicking around, you want to support the show, you can do that by going to passthecontroller.threadless.com and getting some sick swag. You can go to you can go to patreon.com/passthecontroller and becoming a patron. You can subscribe to us on Twitch at twitch.tv/passcontroller. Or you can just go to Mike's OnlyFans, his Cash App, his Venmo. I don't know. Mike, what's your preferred way of getting tipped for your thoughts on Redfall?
Yeah, just go to your local McDonald's.
What?
That's it?
Yeah.
Do you
That's
own? Do you have all the franchises at McDonald's? So you get money off the top.
I have a controlling stockholder stake in McDonald's.
Damn, I didn't know I didn't know Mike D stood for fucking Mickey D's over here.
Yep.
Anyways, so do all those things. They really help support us. They really help us grow the show. We'd be super appreciative if you did that. But that brings us to that time of the show, which I almost just said what I've been saying every week this whole year, but that would be untrue because Dom is on top of the leaderboard this week with 23 points. Todd is in second with 22, and Mike is in third with 19. We got a bunch of guest points on the board, but there's no guests on the show tonight, so we don't need to do that. Without further ado, we're going to play a little game that we like to call Answer Unlocked. If this is your first time listening or you're unaware of the rules, the way we play Answer Unlocked is I'll read the description and name of these trophies/achievements, and whoever gets the game first gets the point. First game is Warming up. Win a battle. Weekend resolve. Exploit an enemy's weakness. Bonds of friendship. Free a bound ally. You do need the full title of this game. Staggering start. Stagger an enemy. Music collector. Collect 3 music discs. Gotta start somewhere. Complete a quest. My first ability. Max out a weapon's proficiency. We'll skip that. I'll skip that for now.
Oh, it's Hi-Fi Rush.
Incorrect.
That would make sense, actually.
It feels like a game that I just played. That's why.
Right.
I have to skip some of these. We'll come back to them if we get stuck on this game. Summon Slayer. Defeat a summon in battle. Can't say that. I'll mute some stuff here. Sultan of Blank. Complete all blank challenges.
I feel like that Sultan of Blank is like a play on the fucking, what's it called?
It's in the swing.
The song, yeah.
It might be. It could be. Dancing Queen. Received a gift from Blank for being a dance superstar.
Is it Like a Dragon?
Incorrect. Snappy Dresser. Obtained 3...
Final Fantasy VII Remake?
It is indeed Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Right, I was going to say.
Todd gets the point and ties it back up.
My head always goes to Xbox, so like to try to like divert that. But when you said Snappy Dresser before you even read it, I'm like, I was thinking that from the one you said before that. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna.
There you go. Game number 2. Logs and Monsters. Chop down 100 large trees. Bird's eye view. Unfog the whole map. Tippy Top. Reach the highest point on the island.
These all sound wildly familiar right now.
The floor is lava. Glide a
God.
total of 1,000 meters in one go.
Slow down.
Uh,
The floor is lava achievement. Is an achievement. I'm pretty sure I have.
I'm gonna say Arkham City.
Incorrect.
No.
Ocean Cookie. Tame an epic mount. Among the Stars. Solve a Constellation Myth challenge.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Incorrect.
is it Hogwarts Legacy?
Incorrect.
Oh man, that's a great guess too. Yeah.
To good health. Fully upgrade your health. Projectile Pro. Defeat a flying enemy with any thrown object. Combo. Reach the final combo stage.
Oh man, I know all these achievements, and I don't think I'm going to get this game right.
Your own medicine. Defeat an enemy with their own projectile. It's a bird. Perform a 25-hit combo while in the air. Look, no hands. Defeat 10 enemies using traps inside the vaults of blank.
Is it Gotham Knights?
Incorrect. Wraithless in battle. Defeat a wraith.
Diablo
Ornithology.
3?
Incorrect. Ornithology. Acquire all phoenix skins.
The Phoenix Rising?
You need the full title of this game.
Phoenix Rising, Rising of the Sun. No. Oh, this is bullshit.
You need the full title.
This was the game that had to be renamed because of something else.
The Zelda clone.
Did you play this game, Todd?
Immortal Phoenix Rising.
It is. Did you play this?
Okay. I when it came to Game Pass and I stopped after like an hour, I'm like, this
Oh,
game's
I was
fucking
like,
terrible.
when you kept saying that Todd takes the lead. When you kept saying that you've
I
gotten
did-
these
I-
achievements of like Todd played this fucking
But
game.
no, I didn't get any. Like, I think that's like I was confusing the achievements because those achievements definitely sound familiar, but
Yeah, the floor is lava. I think is an achievement. In something
Yeah,
else.
I feel like I've
I was gonna
definitely
say,
gotten an
that definitely
achievement
is,
called that
yeah.
before, from something else.
100%.
All right, we got a top leaderboard swing today. Is Dom going to tie it all back up, or is Mike going to inch closer, or is Todd going to continue to build that lead again? Game number 3. You got a trophy. Picked up a trophy in blank blank blank. I recognize you. Punched and looked into the lens of blank 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 in blank blank.
No information. Is it Dead Rising?
Incorrect. Honey, I'm home. Walked under the blank 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 icon in blank blank blank. If it continues to be too hard at some point, I will reread some of these. But I feel like if I don't omit these words, it's going to be too obvious.
Oh, it's Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Incorrect.
Where did that come from?
Keepy uppies. Juggled the ball 5
Is it
times.
Bluey? It's Bluey?
It's a newer game.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what that means. Sorry, Mike. Apparently this is a bonus
There's an
for
episode
them.
of Bluey. It's called Keep It Up.
Juggle the ball 5 times with the frog suit.
With the frog suit.
Helldiver. Dived into the water from the diving board. Jumping splash. Jumped in the fountain near the final goal in Cooling Springs. Twisted metal. Jumped 3 times during a spin attack on ice.
Is it Bell in Wonderworld?
Incorrect. Jason. Sheltered from the heavy rain in Memory Meadow.
Is it Knack 2?
Incorrect.
Knack
I
1?
wish.
Incorrect. Payne. Got hit by flying garbage in Memory Meadow.
Memory Meadow. These
Is it-
and
I'm going to just
I don't
quickly
remember.
say, you do need the full title of this game. So if you don't think you
Yeah.
know the full title,
Yeah,
I would
that's why I
maybe-
stopped. That's why I stopped.
I'll give a hint. Or do you not want a hint yet?
It's
Okay.
it's a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah,
That's
100%. It's trophy.
not the hint that I was going to give.
Yeah, but one of the things was like you got a
Oh, it's
trophy.
correct.
That's not what I said. I was going to say that all 4 of us own this game.
Oh, okay, never mind. No, I thought I knew which game it was.
I don't know if we have all.
Just gonna-
I don't know if we have all played it, but I do know that we all own it. And whether that's through a service or you bought it, I don't know, but we all own it. We all have access to it.
Is it Super Lucky's Tale?
Incorrect. No. Fell 99 feet and caught yourself in the monkey suit in GPU Jungle.
In what jungle?
GPU Jungle.
Astro's Playroom.
It is indeed Astro's Playroom. Todd takes the point. That puts Todd at 25.
When did that come out?
I fucking hate
It
the
was a
monkey
launch
suit
title
so much.
for
I fucking hate the
PS5.
PS5.
Have you played it, though? I would argue.
No.
I would argue it is the
Oh, you
best
should definitely
PlayStation
play it.
exclusive.
It's fucking really
I
good,
think it's the
yeah.
best PS5 game.
It's really good.
It's
Liam was obsessed with that
fucking
game.
phenomenal.
And it's like one of the few games that utilizes the fucking controller more than anything.
Your camera's about to crap out on
Oh
you.
no! All the things that I was omitting before is like it's like jumped on the PlayStation controller because all that stuff is in the game.
Yeah.
Well, I'm agreeing now. So
I knew it was PlayStation. I just fucking didn't know where we were going.
I thought it was the new Little Big Planet.
Obviously,
And I couldn't remember the
That
name
would have been
of
a
that.
good guess because
I mean, you were all on point. Like everything you guys were guessing was like in the vein of what this game is. So, but that will do it for tonight's episode 370. Dom is giving the lead back to Todd Mike remains pointless this week. Otherwise, we appreciate you. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next week. You can find me at BRoom. You can find Mike at _MikeOFath. You can find Todd at Toddy_by_nature. You can find Dom at PTC_1 Spark. That has been the Path Control Podcast, and we'll see you soon.